Welcome to St. Paul's. This is the studio that I've been working on for the past 3 weeks. Thanks to the St. Paul's Creative Centre Music SA as part of the John Lemon Artist in Residence program. They've given me 3 weeks worth of studio space where I've been working on a new album with a butt-ton of collaborators. The album's called Geisel. It should hopefully be out September 1st. I thought I would take this opportunity to give a 360 tour of what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. Massive shout out to NOVUS Res for the loan of the 360 camera. It is the bomb diggity. All right, so pretty much, this is just going to be all tech talk, by the way. If you're not interested, please tune out. So, all right, here's the main crux of my setup here. So I pretty much brought all of my own gear in because I have enough of it. St. Paul's gave me these monitors and the speakers, and they gave me a Universal Audio Apollo Duet, which I was really excited to try out. Though I didn't end up using it very much because my workflow is much more suited around to the gear that I have at home. So at the hub of everything is an old DigiDesign 003. I only recently upgraded from a 002. I'm moving up in the world. But to avoid the preamps in that, which are terrible, I've got this, the Joe Meek VC3, which is currently on loan from the Alex Mader collection. Big ups to you. I hope to be able to buy it off you shortly. And then on the other side, for a more cleaner sound, I use just a Sound Devices Mix Pre, which is a field recording mixer, but it gives such amazingly clean sounds. There's a Behringer Composer, which I don't use, only for live stuff. Then down here, the patch bay is the most crucial part of what I'm doing, because I'm just patching stuff in and out of effects and running everything, just to try and get crazy effects. So up the top is a XLR patch bay. Down here is a balanced TS patch bay. I've got all of my outs from the 003. All the ins, which then go to all of the rest of my equipment. So I've got the Akai filter bank there, a Korg digital triple delay, the SDD 3300, it's tidy. And then down here, DI, I got the Avalon U5. And then for microphones, I've been mainly recording everything on the Rode K2, the unit being over here, which I managed to buy from Fresh FM, which worked out really nicely for everybody involved. And so, up here, it's outputs of the Digi into the Korg delay, the Akai filter bank, into the Mini Brute, and then out of here, I've got all of the outputs back into the inputs, and then the patching. And so I'm doing a lot of patching between the DI and then into the preamps stuff. I've got a old guitar amp head, which belongs to an old friend of mine, Tim Harper, who I've been in bands with for many, many years. For a good, use that for getting a really ugly guitar sound. Also use it to drive my talk box down here. I've given that guy a lot of use lately. It's some really solid bass sounds. They real proper Val synth stuff. Down here I've got a homemade reamplifier, so that's taking the line level out of the Digi and then being able to put it send it to a guitar signal, so then I can run it as a guitar signal into the Ultron or into it is Boss Vintage delay pedal, which has got some really good delay sounds to it. I opened it up and I modified it a little bit to change the repeat rate to be more to what I need it to do. So that's from DIY RE. I highly recommend. Up top, Arturia Mini Brute. Some really good synth sounds there. Just a mono synth, but I've been using it for a lot of bass stuff. It's really cool. In terms of control, I got the Akai APC 40, which I mainly just use for the transport functions, so record, arming stuff, soloing, metronome, really basic stuff. I'm really not making the most out of that. Over here, I've got stuff like, so the Akai MPK 25, which I bought recently, I really like. It's also really good for taking outside and going making beats in the park because it's all just USB powered. This old drum machine here, this Yamaha RX5. So it has pretty crusty drum sounds, but you can really mess with them and they sound pretty freaky. Here, M Audio, it's a standard like MIDI controller keyboard. That belongs to St. Paul's as well. That was nice of them. Under here, I've got an old Roland HS60, which was the home version of the Juno. I've had that for years. It's been in storage, and so I decided to dig it out, and like it's really not well. I think all of the capacitors are really dry in there. They have a tendency to dry out, and so yeah, half of the keys aren't working. It just doesn't work properly. I'm pretty sad about that. What else we got over here? In terms of actually like just regular instrumentation stuff. Nice ukulele, which I've been doing a lot of. Ukulele is gangster. Then, whoa, maraca, thumb piano, pretty good. Triangle, which I don't know where I picked that up from, but I haven't got a little thing for it, so I play it with a fork. That is proper gangster. Speaking of gangster, Irish penny whistle. Down here, oh man, so I got this old tape deck, which I started off really loving, being able to like dub stuff to tape. Like I put it to tape and then you wave a magnet over the tape and it gives you this really washed out, like sort of underwater sound, which was great. But then my tape got fried and it got caught up in the cogs of there and broke all of the insides. And so I'm gonna have to get that fixed because I really like that. And it needs to come back in my life. I bought a whole box of interesting toys here, like megaphone, cowbell. There's a ORTF stereo recording rig. Paint can. So pretty much the secret sauce of a lot of my stuff is just trying to like rigging up contact mics to things and just getting good sounds out of it. Speaking of contact mics, so for field recording, I'm using the Sound Devices 702. Then I'll usually use the other Sound Devices, the Mix Pre is the front end of that. And then I've got this homemade job here, which is a contact mic. It's pretty much like a DI for a contact mic. So if you get a regular contact mic like this guy here, which will cost you about 75 cents from J-Car, then like if you wire that up, plug it in, you'll get like a really high passed sound, like sort of like 500 hertz and up. If you build one of these, like you can find the plans online for free. You just look up contact mic preamp. It balances out the impedance, which is the problem. It's got a really high impedance, and if you plug it into like a microphone input or a line input or something which has got a low impedance, the impedances don't match and you get the high pass filter. So you build yourself one of these guys and then you get all of that sweet goodness like down to, I don't know, I reckon I can go down to like 20 hertz with that. Ooh, what else? Oh, speaking of reamping from before out of my reamping box, I'll either run into that guitar amp or this like crappy little drive amp or Roland Microcube, both of them borrowed off my friend Jason Chong. So yeah, I've been doing some reamping and stuff like that, like I'll record a bit, then I decided I need to be like grungier or grittier, run it out of there, into here, mic that, cab up, and then yeah, record it back in. It's really good sounds, glockenspiel, like, oh yeah. Once again, gangster. Crash cymbal that I found down the side of a cupboard at my parents' house. Bow, you never know when you're gonna need to bow something. Melodica. Oh man, this has been getting a great workout. I had Tom Bettany in here the other day rocking the melodica on this track. It's awesome. And this check this out. This is the Rosedale electric chord organ. I seem to recall I bought it at a Cash Converters many years ago for a bargain price. But it's pretty much, it's like an electric melodica. Pretty cool. It's been getting a bit of a workout. The fan noise is heaps loud on that. There's something I brought in recently, the Akai S2000. Just to bounce stuff to, old hardware digital sampler. So that's good for just, yeah, bouncing stuff down, getting like a real digital noise if you don't want to fake it in Redux. Alright, still going, good stuff. Shakers, egg shakers. I love shakers, always have too much shakers. Over here, more stuff like this. You get really good sounds, once again, secret sauce. Found objects. Things like that, you can get, if you hit them in the right way, you can get a good resonance out of them. Then map that onto your keyboard and get a good pitch to it. Play it like a Rhodes. Toy piano, which Patrick Lang found on the side of the road and gave it to Alex Mader, who is currently lending it to me. Really cool, gives like a really kind of demon sound. Shotgun mic for my field recording kit. That is a Sennheiser 415. Then guitars, which I have a lot of guitars for how shit I am at guitar. So bass guitar, almost always using live bass for something. My dad's old violin, and I kind of get weird sort of plucky sounds out of that, like a Tom Waits kind of thing, which I really like. Then, yeah, so this super beat up junker guitar, which I'm trying to play it like in a non-traditional way, because I don't know if you can see the bowing on that. I'll get right up close. See, look at that, like it's got this crazy sound to it, but it's, yeah, the intonation is just terrible. And so I've sampled that, I multi-sampled it, made my own VST. This guitar here, which another great, awful sound. Picked that up for $20 at Rerun. Back when they used to be the Market Bazaar. Epiphone, Junior Les Paul, Telecaster with a hot rail in it for a good mean sound. A Washburn acoustic guitar, which many years ago I traded an ex-girlfriend a pair of rollerblades for. A banjo. I think it's tuned to G minor. It's good sound. Ooh. Then my trusty Fendercaster Tele, which I need some new electrics actually because they're all wonky in there. I think that's probably about it. In terms of mics that I've been using, Shure 57 was usually, they're always set up. It's great for like tambourine and shakers. I got a pair of Rode M5s from St. Paul's, which I've been using to stereo mic stuff. But almost all of it's just been coming, yeah, through the K2. I guess just I find it such a versatile mic. I'm not really like I know exactly how like what mic to use for this sound, but yeah, I just use the K2 and everything and then process it later. Yeah, I reckon that's probably about all I've been doing. Yeah, thanks for watching this entire time. Yeah, once again, thanks to Music SA, thanks to St. Paul's for having me, thanks to Novus Res for the use of this guy. Man, I cannot wait to see it back. It's going to be wild. Yeah, thanks so much. Album's coming out September 1st. I am really excited. I should probably speak about the album a little bit. So I collaborated with, it's about like 16 people so far. And I just had like all these people come in and like I made little bits of music and then I sent them out to people and then they kind of did something and then came back and played their part over the top. And then I made the track around what they had done. So it's not just kind of like, all right, here's a song, here's your 16 bars, sing over that, we're done. Like it was like a real like a back and forth process, and just the stuff that everybody came back with was just phenomenal. Like just all of these tracks are like, oh, okay, here's a little half-baked idea. It's probably not going to make the cut. And then they'd come and they'd just like lay down something amazing over the top. And it just, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, this is just like the most awesome tune there is. And so, yeah, I've just, man, I can't wait to share this album with everyone. Look at me, I'm babbling like a little schoolgirl. But thank you very much for spending the time. Hope we can do this again sometime. Cheers. Tim Whitt. Ooh, follow me on Tim Whitt Sound on Facebook. But more importantly, Instagram. Instagram is where it's at. Tim Whitt Sound. This guy.